Hi there Capricorn, thank you for joining me for your monthly forecast for January and welcome to the new year. As we go into each new year, many of us think about our New Year's resolutions and the things that we really want to achieve. We've experienced in life there's nothing as good health, is there really? But when things are a bit stronger, we can maybe think more about material aims, about the desire to travel, lose weight, stop smoking, be a bit more mindful of what we eat and drink. All this kind of stuff's going on. For you, as this new year begins, it's strange because I feel there's one part of you that's in the present and one part of you that may be partly in the past. And particularly around your relationships or a close relationship. There may be an opportunity for some kind of reunion in January this month, or you may find yourself just processing information or emotions that relate to a past situation, but particularly someone you were very close to. This could well be romantically. In some situations, an old flame could come back into your world. On the other hand, maybe it's just something you need to do privately. A past relationship from many moons ago, and you have no intention of contacting the person whatsoever, but there's still actually quite a lot of alive emotion around this, perhaps more than you've appreciated, and that can be a factor this month. But also, your ruling planet Saturn is in a part of your horoscope asking you to clear up loose ends of a more practical type. So, if you find yourself working behind the scenes and there's strands that have been left outstanding, for a naturally organised person like you, this is not great. You want everything up together and working properly. So that too can be an area that keeps you busy as you enter this new month. But Mercury, the planet of communication, is going to leave your sign on the 2nd and move into Aquarius. That can help you to focus on cash issues. But by the 5th, while the brakes are on and the first retrograde of the new year begins, by the 10th, Mercury's back in your sign. And I think, so whatever your New Year's resolutions are, there could be a potential for you to then discover that they're not all going to go forward quite as you expect. Jupiter also goes into retrograde on the 8th. That's the planet of expansion. And that's in an area for you which is very freedom-loving, very much to do with inquisitiveness, to do with travel. And that retrograde is interesting too. Maybe you're going to think more philosophically at an inner level on the back of that retrograde. So I do feel that there can be some treading water going on. And the interesting thing is that Mars, the power planet, well, that actually moves on the 4th into an area which is very much to do with your future life direction and how you connect with other people. And that can give you a real desire and a passion to go for it, but not necessarily in a way where you can't cooperate. You can be yourself, but still link in with others. So that's an interesting influence, and that's forging a very nice angle from the 11th to the 25th with Neptune. So communication with friends, but particularly friends who have ideas which are quite spiritual in some ways, could really grab your imagination. So if you're connected to any group that has a real sense of identity or community about it, that can be important for you in January this year. However, over the last few years there has been that ongoing clash between Pluto in your sign and Uranus, which has really tested that side of you that likes the orthodox, likes to know where you stand. But there's another part of you that's been very restless when it comes to your emotional life, where you live and who you live with and how. And that's going to be repeated in the first 3 months of this year. But Mercury in this retrograde then starts to join in with Pluto the last half of this month. And I do feel that if any ideas you've got seem to be blocked by people's unexpected objections, or obstacles come up that you just could not have predicted, it could create a lot of tension, frustration, and even some headaches. And perhaps you just need to really consider that things will get to where they need to get when they're ready. And I think a priming point for you is going to be the 25th, because then Mercury starts to go forwards again. Some of that frustration will start to melt away in the last few days of the month. And of course, the Sun generally always moves. And it moves this year on the 21st, so just at the start of week 3. But there is a new moon in your sign on the 11th that I should tell you about, because that's squaring up with Uranus as well. So your desire to be an individual, to get a firm grip on your life direction, to take a hold, can still in some ways see you going at right angles to what's really right for you. You must make sure that you're neither a rebel without a cause, or you're absolutely resisting change at all costs, or perhaps you just want everything on your own terms and you're expecting those closest to you to just fit in without a murmur. It's not going to happen. It could cause some tensions and some rows. So diplomacy is going to be important. And if you can master your frustration, work on that cooperative angle that Mars is giving you from the 11th to the 23rd, and just be aware that around relationships, the subtleties are just as important as the more spoken affections that we make. So it's the little gestures you do which can be so important. But if you are single, it wouldn't surprise me if you did think about an old flame, meet them, or start in some ways a very low-key, secretive, or even clandestine relationship. But as this month draws to a close and the Sun moves into Aquarius, it's much more about your resources that you're thinking about. And then there is a full moon on the 23rd in Leo. And if you have spent quite a lot of cash over Christmas, this is really going to bring it into sharp focus. And you may have to do some economising to get the balance of payments in your situation back into better fettle. And that could see you occupied as this month draws to a close. But I do think the key moment is going to be the 25th, when things start to move forwards. But if they don't go forward as you expect this month, try to be philosophical about it. It's been a real pleasure being with you. Thank you for joining me. Good luck and goodbye for now.